Why is it that when a terrorist attack happens, the word Islam always ends up in the spotlight? Why don't we say Christian terrorism when the KKK murders in the name of the Bible? Why don't we say Buddhist terrorism when monks in Myanmar burn down Muslim villages? But when a Muslim commits a crime, suddenly all of Islam is guilty. In today's video, we respond to a viral clip where it's claimed that the common denominator between terrorists is Islam. Let's hear what they say, and then let's break it down.
I have a few questions for them. What is the common denominator between all these guys? You find people from Morocco joining ISIS, people from Tunisia joining ISIS, from Egypt, from Saudi Arabia, from all these places, from France, from Belgium, from Canada, from the US, from Australia. What is the common denominator between these guys? A simple look. Is it because they are poor, less educated? The only thing I can find, the common between them, is Islam. So it has to do with Islam. A common sense. Anyone who studies terrorism has to come to this conclusion. It has to do with religion. Some people, they say no, because they were persecuted. Islamic groups, they were not allowed to participate in politics because this, because of that. Look at Christians in Egypt. The Copts, they were persecuted. They were not given opportunity to participate in politics. Did you see any Copt blowing himself in a mosque among Muslims? Their churches were burned. Their kids were converted by force to Islam. They don't have rights so many times. None of them, he went exploded himself. So you're telling me religion has nothing to do with that?
Rachid claims, what's the common denominator among terrorists from all over the world? It's Islam. That sounds convincing, right? But here's the trap. Just because someone identifies as Muslim doesn't mean Islam caused their actions. This is called a correlation fallacy. Let's break it down with an example. Imagine if someone said, most school shooters in the US are white males, so being white and male must be the cause of school shootings. That would be racist and absurd, right? Because being white or male doesn't cause violence. The real causes are deeper: psychological issues, bullying, mental health, access to guns, toxic environments. The same applies here. There are 2 billion Muslims in the world. If Islam taught terrorism, there would be chaos everywhere. But the truth is, the vast majority of Muslims live peacefully, even under oppression. In fact, statistics show that most victims of Islamic terrorism are Muslims themselves. According to the Global Terrorism Database, over 80% of terror victims in Muslim-majority countries are Muslims. If Islam teaches terrorism, then why are its own followers the biggest victims? It's not Islam. It's radical misinterpretations, political manipulation, and foreign invasions. Let's dig deeper. ISIS didn't come out of thin air. Let's look at history. After the 2003 U.S. invasion of Iraq, the government was dismantled. Saddam Hussein's army officers, many of whom were secular Baathists, were left jobless, humiliated, and angry. They later became the military backbone of ISIS. Don't take my word for it. The Guardian published an article titled ISIS, the Inside Story, showing that many ISIS leaders were former officers of Saddam Hussein's secular army, not religious clerics. So what happened? They used Islamic slogans not because they believed in Islam, but to recruit angry youth and gain legitimacy. It was a political movement, not a religious one. And let's not forget, ISIS killed more Muslims than non-Muslims. Their targets? Sunni scholars, Shia civilians, women, children. If Islam promotes terrorism, why would ISIS slaughter Muslims? Because they weren't defending Islam, they were hijacking it. The speaker says, people joined ISIS from France, Belgium, Australia, etc., so Islam is the cause. Wrong again. Let's meet a real example. Mehdi Namouche, a Frenchman who joined ISIS and later attacked a Jewish museum in Belgium. Was he a devout Muslim? No. He was a drug dealer, in and out of prison, radicalized there. He didn't even pray regularly before joining ISIS. What pushed him? Anger, identity crisis, exposure to prison radicals, and online propaganda. Not Islam. Another case, Shamima Begum, a British teen who ran off to join ISIS. Raised in a Western country, she said she wanted to help Muslims being bombed. Her action was wrong, but her motivation was grief and anger, not religious scholarship. Terrorism experts agree. Recruits are usually not religiously educated. Many don't even know Arabic. They're manipulated by propaganda, social alienation, and political events, not Islamic theology. Rachid says, Christians in Egypt are persecuted, but they don't blow themselves up. Yes, persecution is real, and no religion justifies terror. But this argument ignores a key point. Violence is not unique to Muslims. Let's talk facts. The Lord's Resistance Army in Uganda, led by Joseph Kony, claimed to fight for the Bible, but committed massacres. Buddhist mobs in Myanmar are burning down Muslim villages. Christian militias in the Central African Republic committed ethnic cleansing. Were those acts because of religion? No, they were driven by power, politics, and revenge. Now let's return to Egypt. While Coptic Christians faced oppression, they also had some Western support, churches abroad, and a path for asylum. But in places like Iraq, Syria, and Palestine, Muslims faced bombings, drone attacks, and dictatorships with no escape. Some reacted wrongly, but instead of blaming Islam, we must blame those who twisted Islam for political violence. Global terrorism experts, non-Muslims included, say religion is a tool, not a root cause. Robert Pape, professor at the University of Chicago, analyzed hundreds of suicide attacks. His conclusion? The root cause is foreign occupation. Scott Atran, a counterterrorism expert, testified at the UN saying, terrorists are not motivated by religion, but by social networks and group loyalty. Even the CIA's own reports warned that bombing Muslim countries increases radicalization. So the problem isn't religion, it's political chaos, military invasions, poverty, and manipulative recruiters. So let's ask again, if Islam is the cause, why are most Muslims peaceful? If religion is to blame, why do secular and Christian groups also commit terror? If Muslims are the threat, why are Muslims themselves the main victims? The answer is clear. Islam is not the enemy. Ignorance is. Assalamu alaikum.